And welcome to David Speaks, my YouTube channel. So, end of the test match between Australia and South Africa. Australia literally crushing South Africa. It must be said. No disrespect, but it has to be said. And as I told you in my analysis in the preview, that South African batting lineup is is very young and an inexperienced batting lineup, and we got to know today. And even in the first innings on day one, they struggled like anything because of the lack of experience. As I told in my previous analysis, that there are a number of batsmen who are on their first tour to Australia, and it's never easy. It's never easy. The first innings, they scored 152. Um, no doubt Australia bowled really well, but some inexperience was there in the batting. Just only one tick that South Africa have, which was a who looked like a good player to me, is Kyle Verreynne. Although his first tour of Australia, but the 64 in the first innings and that spicy pitch, which was favouring the bowlers like anything, was was an outstanding innings. It was a terrific 64 to bring South Africa to a respectable total, because they were actually 27 for 4 at one stage yesterday, and they got to 152. And their bowlers, as I told you, that it's going to be a fiery contest between fiery pace attacks, both of them, Australia and South Africa. Even South Africa came back by knocking over Australia for 218, and at one stage Australia were 27 for 3. But then a terrific innings from Travis Head. Well, he is having a terrific start to this Australian summer, is Travis Head. Even the series against West Indies, he played really well, and now on this spicy Gabba wicket, he batted out of this world. To be honest, I'll say that, because no one throughout this whole Test match looked as comfortable as him. He was playing a T20. He was playing a T20. He was giving me the memory of old times, that when he was in Big Bash, and smacking the ballers around. It was actually, I was confused, that is it a test match going around or a T20, because for his first 16 balls he was not off the mark, and for I think next 40 balls he got to run a ball. It was like 64 of the 64. I was like, I also had a chuckle, like, how can you bat like this on that kind of a pitch? But that shows the aggressive attitude and and clear mind of Travis Head. He batted the best by a long way on that pitch, and because of him, I think Australia have won this Test match, because they got to 218, um, and got a lead of 60 odd runs, which was a match turning lead, and a match winning lead on that pitch. Because when South Africa started batting again, same old story. But this time there was no 60 from anyone, or in a way no substantial contribution from anyone, like first innings Kyle Verreynne's. They got out under 100. They got out for 99. They were bowled out for 99. So this is clear inexperience in the South African batting lineup, and they got exposed for the second time in a row by this high-class Australian bowling attack. And Australia were to chase 35, and they chased it down. Although they lost 4 wickets in the process, but they were always in control. Obviously, when you need 35, the game is almost gone. But as I said earlier in this video, that South African bowling ranks right up there with the Australian one. They're the two best pace attacks in the world currently, and they showed it. The bowling attack showed it. They got 4 wickets even in this modest chase of 35, and after being knocked over for 152, they kept South Africa in the game by knocking Australia up for 218. So the South African bowling attack, there's no problem there. And I already told in my previous analysis, the preview analysis, that South Africa have a problem in their batting, and their bowling is world class. So bowling is filled up. All the bases are covered in their bowling. The pace bowling, and even the spin off Maharaj, who can bat a bit as well. So all the bases are covered over there. The question mark will be over there in the batting, and the batting got exposed. And so I think the huge responsibility lies on their captain Dean Elgar, who has been to Australia before on their previous tour that they won. He scored runs over there, and he needs to be the man again. If South Africa are to come back in the series, he needs to be the one. Temba Bavuma needs to be the one who need to actually steady the ship and steady their batting. Otherwise, I think South Africa is in real trouble. Real trouble. It's up to these two experienced men and South African bowling attack if South Africa are to come back in this series. Otherwise, I think South Africa in trouble, and Australia will, I think, run through them. If they get these two out, which is Elgar and Bavuma, I think they'll rattle through the batting lineup. And I think they need to get another batsman in, maybe in place of an all-rounder like Tinus de Bruyne. They need to deepen their batting lineup, because if the matchup is against the fast bowling, then I think your preparations needs to be according to that, the preparations, because Australia are going to expose you. There's no doubt about that. So one extra batsman will, I think, be a bit handy for South Africa. I'm not saying that it will solve the problem. No, it won't. It won't solve the problem, but it will just give them an extra comfort and an extra protection. That's all. Maybe they can look into that. But as I said, Elgar and Bavuma, these two need to have the significant part in the next two test matches if South Africa are to come back or have any say in this series. Otherwise, Australia, I think, will dominate this series. Test match ending inside 2 days. Quite remarkable, must be said. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like and share with your friends. Thank you.